Morning. We have all the coffees today. Well, that was water. But we have also big cup of blueberry cobbler coffee. We can only find this blueberry cobbler creamer at one of our Walmarts. We have like 5 Walmarts. One of them has this blueberry cobbler creamer that I found. If you need to know what the bottle looks like, it's in my last grocery haul. It is so good. And I need all the creamer this morning. You know why? Because I stayed up way too late finishing this big, thick, juicy boy last night. It was worth it though. No regrets, because so good. Okay, so that's what this video is going to be about, right? We're doing our, I'm trying to get my hype, get my energy. We're doing our Way of Kings review. All the fluids, all the liquids, all the hydration. It was 1,200 pages in this format that I read it in. Double checking that. Yes. 1,200 pages in the format that I read it in. It comes in a variety of formats. A lot of times you'll see it in a hardback. This is not Way of Kings. This is the next book, Warbreaker. So I'll be reading this next month. I have a few... The artwork is gorgeous. I have a few little library books that I need to turn in and get read before I start that. So it'll probably be the first book of March. Warbreaker will be. Which is only a week away. So I'm going to try in this last week to fit like 3-ish little 300-page books in. But Way of Kings, the review, it took me 4-ish days of reading, pretty much full time to read it. I think if you look at the Audible version, because I just downloaded it for my husband, it's 45 hours of audio. So like straight, just reading the book, no sleep, no breaks, no nothing, 45 hours of reading. And it's worth every minute of it. I looked at the reviews on Goodreads, like, as I was entering my own review, and a lot of them were like, I couldn't get past the first couple chapters because it was so overwhelming. I have another friend who's like, I've been trying to read this book for 5 years. It is a hefty book to read, but I honestly, to my core, believe it is one of my favorite books that I've ever read and worth every minute that you devote to it. What is the Way of Kings about? Like, it's this epic fantasy novel everybody talks about. What's it about? So there's going to be full spoilers in this video if you are just trying to decide if you want to read this book. Just read it. Like, I don't know what else to say, but there's going to be spoilers in this video, so don't watch this video. So the Way of Kings, to me, essentially is about power and how different people utilize this power, people who have power, how they utilize it, people who don't have power, how they are affected by it. You have like a lot of characters, but I like to call them like your 4 mains that they talk about. You have your assassin, who's going to be like one of the first characters that you meet. I think it's Seth, like Sczeth. He has a very unique Shin type name. And so we've got the assassin. Then you have your surgeon turned slave. That's going to be Kaladin, Cal. He is essentially somebody who used to be a surgery apprentice to his father. Then he was in the military. It kind of tells you his story of how he ended up in the military. And then through an unfortunate series of events that made him lose his faith in any light eyes, which is like your people in power, he became a slave. So there's that. And you will find out throughout the story how he went through all of these transitions in his life. So you've got the assassin, Kaladin, and then you're going to have, I believe her name is like Shala, is how they pronounce it. She is the scholar. So she has gone to the city to basically become a ward or like a apprentice to the king's sister. Her name starts with a J. Jasiah. I'm not good with these names, guys. You guys know how I am with these fantasy names, so a lot of them I'm just going to give you an initial. So Princess J, we're going to call her. She goes to be her apprentice or her ward, and she's actually trying to steal her soulcaster. So she's the scholar disguised as a thief, or a thief disguised as a scholar. Okay, back. So sorry about that. UPS never comes this early in the morning, ever. It's usually like noon, and it's like 8 in the morning, barely. So, got a new book delivery. Not reading them yet, though. I am doing I swear, I'm doing a no book buy until my birthday. I have that many books to read, you guys. I could go 6 months and not buy a book and have books to read, because that's how many books I have on my TBR right now. I digress. Characters. The assassin, Kaladin, Shalon, or Sheila, or however you pronounce her name, which is the girl who is a thief, like disguised as a scholar. And then your last character, like your main character, is going to be Dalinar, and he's my favorite character. He is a high prince of the king, and he's got a lot going on. He's trying to stay in control because he's having some issues, and he's also got 2 sons that he's trying to protect. He's having these visions during high storms that are making people think he's a little crazy. Also, his brother was murdered by this assassin that we talked about previously, and kind of left him a cryptic message, and he believes that the Way of Kings, the book, is an answer to everything. And then the vision keeps telling him, unite them. And he's thinking that he's talking about all of the high princes. All of the high princes need to be united. And I don't think that's necessarily what unite them meant. I think it was the light eyes and the dark eyes, honestly, is what he meant by unite them. But that might be a personal preference there. All the coffee this morning. But yeah, so you've got characters that you're going to follow through kind of this epic story. It is a lot of world building. It is a lot of getting to know these characters, and it can be a little like towards the middle dense, just like, I don't know how else to describe it, just it's a lot of information, and sometimes it feels like nothing is happening for 200, 300 pages. Your characters are in the same room, and you're like, nothing is happening. It's worth it. It's worth it. Keep reading, keep trucking through it, because the endings wouldn't be as sweet as they are without having just devoted 20 hours of your life really getting to know this character. Like, really understanding why Cal does not trust Light Eyes, how many times he's been let down, so that when Dalinar does trade his shard sword for his freedom, how intense that is for Cal, how he's never had somebody actually care before. Kaladin is convinced when he betrays Prince Sidious and goes back and saves Dalinar's crew. He probably knows he's dying. He's convinced of it. And he doesn't care anymore because his life is so horrible in these bridge camps. which that is the most depressing thing I can think of, these bridge camps. I mean, Brandon Sanderson, that's some sick, sick shit, okay? But I do want a Bridge 4 tattoo now, though. Like, I legitimately want, like, a little Bridge 4 tattoo. I have so many bookish tattoos that I want. So many. I'm hoping my husband's going to listen to the book and love it, and then we can get the Bridge 4 tattoo together. That's what I would love. So, yeah. It's just, you have to read all of the details in order for this amazing ending to really hit home. Especially the Dalinar stuff and Kaladin. It's just so good. So good. So worth the squeeze. I highly recommend this book. I don't want to give away all of the spoilers. But the way that the characters are intricately weaved, the way that the world is built so beautifully and thoroughly, it's a 10 out of 10 for me, honestly. It would be hard for me to, like, I keep seeing people on TikTok doing the fantasy this or that. If you were to put Priory of the Orange Tree and Way of Kings up next to each other, it would be really hard for me to pick. Because you guys know Priory is, like, my favorite book right now. This is definitely one of my favorite books right now. It is epic. It is incredible. It has a fully succinct circle and ending, and I can't wait to read more of it. I would like to see how Kaladin is going to be as a actual leader and somebody who's respected and somebody who has power. Like, I am incredibly excited for this series to continue. And yeah, that makes me excited. While Priory was fully enveloped, the story has a beginning, middle, and end in one book. I feel like with Way of Kings, there's so much left open for this series to go. So that's why I couldn't pick between the two. They're both my favorites right now. Absolutely love them. And yeah, I cannot recommend it enough. I know so many of my friends are like, I can't do it. I've tried. I can't do it. 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, whatever you can give it, be consistent so that you don't forget what it is you've read. That is the biggest thing I feel like with these type of books is you have to be consistent. You can't say, okay, I'm going to read 1 hour a day and then skip a few days and expect to just pick up. You're only reading 1 hour. You haven't read that much information. You're going to forget all of the information that you've read. With these types of size novels, I have to be consistent. I have to read something every day just to keep my mind in it. And I'll find that I'm reading longer and longer because my mind is fully enhanced into the book. So yeah, Way of Kings gets a 10 stars from me. Thoroughly enjoyed it. One of my favorite books. Don't ask me to pick. Excited to continue on in this series. But that is all I have for you guys this morning. It is a dreary morning, rainy, cold. Well, actually, it's kind of warming up. It's going to be spring here in Georgia soon. But I am tired, and I love you guys so, so, so much. I hope that I did this review justice. When you read these incredible books, you just know you can't do the book justice. You have to read it for yourself. So I hope you guys do go out and do that. And I love you so much. I'm so excited to see you guys for a shopping vlog next week. And I'll see you then. Bye.